want to say it was significant.
Okay.
Different than 0. Let's go back and look at it. But basically, we know when there's a significant change from pre to post using this approach.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So then this tells us.
That's it. It's like a fancy paired t-test.
So there was.
Literally.
So there was change, and it was significant. So there was growth.
That's right.
Okay. So this is our, essentially our path of analysis. I mean, that's the only way I can think of it in terms of like the corollary to SEM world.
Yeah, I mean, you can totally think of it as basically like this is just our statistical test for showing that there is a difference from pre to post via a 2-tier model for test-based assessment. That's it.
Okay.
And we can repeat this process for each of the 4 measures.
Okay.
And then we'll be able to also then add in the other stuff I talked about before, right? Looking at, okay, could we say that, so we'll get the intercept changes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we can add in on top of that, okay, we know these things are correlated with each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we have to think about, okay, could we somehow incorporate what we did in our original paper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Into this model for change.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
So we are doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We throw norms in there as well. So this would be knowledge, importance of efficacy, right? Norms, and intentions, behavioral intentions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Behavioral is different than self-efficacy, right?
Yes.
That's behavioral control.
Yeah.
We got these. We can think of it as like we're running that many paired t-tests.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Then we're gonna say, okay, is there a relation? So we got knowledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
As growth. Let's think about this for a second. We know knowledge can influence behavioral intentions, but it goes through all these other variables, right?
Right.
So I don't know. I'm trying to think like we can go knowledge influences intention, right? Directly.
Mm-hmm.
Knowledge influences self-efficacy directly. Knowledge influences social norms directly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of those things, intentions and self-efficacy and norms, directly influence behavioral intentions at the very end, right?
Correct.
Now the question becomes one of, what do we do about post-knowledge that's correlated with pre-knowledge? Do we just leave it as that and that's it? Or do we say that post-knowledge, I mean, I guess in our model when we ran it, right, we had post-knowledge predicting...
We had pre-knowledge predicting post-knowledge.
Yeah, pre-knowledge predicting post-knowledge, but did we have like post-knowledge, we had post-knowledge predicting post-intentions and self-efficacy and knowledge, right?
Post-knowledge predicting post-intention or post-efficacy and attitudes, and then indirectly post-intention.
Yeah, so knowledge predicts post-importance, right?
Importance,
and self-efficacy.
And self-efficacy, and indirectly intention.
Okay, we have norms in there.
Oh, that we have norms, right?
Norms too, right.
Right. I keep ignoring poor norms, but yes.
And then do we have post intentions predicting self-efficacy? I don't think so.
No, intentions is the end of the line.
Sorry, importance. Sorry, is importance predicting self-efficacy?
They're correlated.
They're correlated.
Yes. But we have pre-intention or pre-attitude predicting post-attitude.
What about importance with norms? Is that just correlated?
Correlated.
And then self-efficacy with norms correlated?
Correlated.
And then, okay. And then the same logic can apply to pre.
Correct. So the only thing different is if we would do sort of the cross association. So you have pre-importance predicting post self-efficacy, say. Which that we didn't model those in our other SEM paper.
Say that one more time, sorry.
So if we had sort of cross association, so if you had pre-attitude predicting post self-efficacy, or pre-knowledge predicting post attitude. Gotcha. We didn't cross the streams, as it were, in our SEM model.
Right. Does it make sense to say that pre?
I don't know if it does or not. I mean, I guess you could kind of say anything that came before could predict what came after.
Right.
I don't know.
You want to think about that a little bit? I'll think about it too.
Yeah, I'd like to see some of these, if I could find some other longitudinal examples, how they do that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. That seems, I'm trying to think of just intuitively if that would make sense.
Yeah. This is kind of like this a little bit.
Yeah, well, that looks crazy, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. That looks about right.
So, it's just, because, I mean, think about it. Once we have these 5 input files set up correctly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we've looked at each measure.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say from a univariate perspective, right? Only focused on one variable at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Then the question becomes one of, okay, so what makes most sense now that we have this pre-post data to look at it? I wonder, I'm gonna have to look. I'll have to dig a little bit more, Rebecca.
Okay.
Now thinking of like this literature on longitudinal mediation for causal analysis, like the ideal. So like the ideal. Okay, so the ideal, like that one paper that you cited in your dissertation that did like the pre-post, right?
Mm-hmm.
Be that we'd collect knowledge, then we would collect importance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if we really believe that importance and self-efficacy and norms were right in the middle, right? Then the next time point after that would be intentions.
Yeah.
And then a fourth wave of data would be
behavior.
Actual behavior, right?
Right.
So since we don't have behavior, that knocks down to 3 time points then.
Mm-hmm.
We only have 2.
Mm-hmm.
But we also have the ability to look at change. So I think that we'll be able to answer questions like the simple question.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a change in knowledge, importance, self-efficacy, norms, and behavioral intentions on their own?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then I guess we could say, I don't want to say that in any sense.
Yeah, because that was my question. These aren't all, so like our structural equation model, it's all in one model, whereas these are each individually.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get to this.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any harm doing the univariates beforehand,
Okay.
the way I've already structured the first two now. It's just trying to find a way to add to it more and specify. I mean, basically, we can run any models we want. It's just I'm going to need help from you to say, okay, what makes the most sense logically from the theory perspective.
I mean, I think the model is the one we ran for our SEM. I mean, that's to me the one that makes the most sense.
I mean, because potentially just do the exact same thing again.
I mean, that's what makes the most sense to me, and I think it's also interesting because then we can compare what we got to our year one data.
Yeah.
That's the most, to me, the most meaningful model. That's why we picked it. I mean, that's why we did it that way. And we know now that we would keep out those direct knowledge effects.
Yes.
On intention, but other than that, to me, that's the model.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think, like, in terms of, like, something that's a little bit new and fancy for us to do, too. Okay, so I ran this model for intentions. Okay, let's see. It converged just fine. Good. And so go to the standardized results. That's odd. No, it's not odd. I allowed it to be free. That's fine. Okay. Right. So we see about the same change that we saw for importance, right? We saw that 0.32 change, right?
Mm-hmm.
We see a 0.35.
Okay.
Significant, right?
Okay.
So, yay! They improved.
Yes.
And they changed in their behavioral intentions.
Yay.
So that's really about all we can say right there.
And then the log likelihood, where did you calculate that?
It was right up here. So, log likelihood.
Okay,
log likelihood.
Okay, there it is. Okay.
And these are not the same data. This is intention, right?
Yeah, no, I'm just curious where there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the change, no, that's what I meant, the ratio. Change equals, what'd you put, the likelihood ratio test between these two. Okay,
Yeah.
A two-dimensional model. So you did something else. You compared it to a different model, variance estimate.
Yeah. We're gonna have to go back and specify it. You want to take a shot at it?
Yeah, I just have to figure out what you're doing and then I can just replicate it.
So you got this part right. This is already written up. So
Yeah.
all of this information
Uh-huh.
comes from
You did it on importance, yeah.
these two analyses output files.
Okay.
But now I got to run this one again because I showed you the error message and now it has to run again. So once this is done, right?
Yeah, okay.
And looking at the output, you'll be able to say, okay, those were the numbers they're coming from.
Okay. Okay, so you want me to do this for the other...
Yeah, so like what you could do is so this is running now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you'll need to go into here where it says two-dimensional, right?
Mm-hmm.
And do it for intention.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe an easier way to do this would be... The way I did it is I copied and pasted this. And then I just edited it. So a lot of this is not going to be, it's specified correctly for importance,
Okay.
right? So this syntax is identical to the two-tier, except you'll notice down below, there's no specific factors specified.
Okay.
That's the only difference.
Okay.
Does
And
that
then
make sense?
yeah, and so then you just did a log like a ratio test. I mean.
Yeah, a log ratio test.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
You want
So.
to take a shot at the see if you can take a look at how I wrote it up. See if you can match those results in the output. If you have questions, let me know.
Oh.
Then take a shot to do this two-dimensional one, right?
Mm-hmm.
For intention.
Okay.
Write that up. Let me know, and I'll look at it.
Okay.
So I'll look at your syntax and what you wrote up, and just verify it.
Okay.
If those are right, then you can go on to the other two if you want.
If those are right.
Yeah. The one you want to hold off on right now is norms.
Yeah, that's the one I don't know what to do.
Self-efficacy and knowledge you can do.
Okay, so knowledge, will that be different? I'm trying to think of how that will be funky at all.
It would be like this. Boop. Boop. Because it's only one threshold. It's dichotomous.
Okay.
Right?
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So it'll look, that's the only place it'll look different then.
Okay. Yeah.
So my recommendation is like, you'll name the file this,
Uh-huh.
but you'll need to, let's do it right now. So you just need to modify this one appropriately, okay?
Okay.
So like this stuff can be cut out. This.
Because that's all the specific factor stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. I got it.
And the other one already finished, so now we're good on that one. Okay.
Okay. So then the next step will be to figure out how to create a model that has all of these in them,
Yes.
or just replicate the model that we had from before.
Yeah, I mean, like an argument we can make, right, Rebecca, is that we're doing the same thing we did last time.
Mm-hmm.
So literally all the paths that we stated last time,
Mm-hmm.
we can state the exact same paths in this framework.
So how does that look? Like, does it look like the same? That's what I'm curious, what the syntax looks like. Is it going to be almost identical to our SEM, except for the measurement part? I mean, the structural part.
The on statements, the structurals will be identical.
Okay. Okay.
It'll probably be like about a 5 to 6 page syntax file.
Really?
Yeah. Look, I mean, look how long this is already. That's just for one variable.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think it'll run?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Should we try it? Should I try it?
Maybe. Get the other ones done first, and then we can try.
And then you'll pass me to the next level.
Then you can pass on to the next level of the game.
Well, my first priority, the first thing I'm going to do is finish our paper and get that moving. But hopefully that won't take too long at this point. And then I'll do this, and then is there anything else?
That's it.
Okay.
Okay, so if I think about the actual theory itself, it's saying knowledge predicts importance. Knowledge also predicts self-efficacy. Knowledge also predicts
norms. Yeah.
And then each of those then end up predicting behavioral intentions.
Right.
And that's it.
Right.
I guess you could argue technically there's no real correlation between importance and self-efficacy and self-efficacy, norms and importance, because that's not what the theory is stating.
No, in the theory they're correlated. Like if you look at the model, those are correlated factors.
All right. That's how the developer did it.
Yep.
So basically, it's saturated. Right?
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, except for knowledge, because knowledge is kind of outside of the system.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's saturated because there's no structural path except for the direct effect missing.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm saying though. That's not there.
Yeah. So the only path missing
is the direct path between knowledge and intention.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So without that, I mean, that one there would be saturated without it. So it really ends up being that because we're only one path away from a saturated model, model fit doesn't really make sense anymore. Right?
Yeah, I guess that makes, yeah.
Because it's not a very parsimonious model.
Right. But isn't with IRT we're more concerned about the item level fit anyway?
Okay, so
see, now you're confusing me.
if we're focused just on the instrument,
yeah.
In IRT, then it's item level fit.
Okay.
When we do this, then it's going to be the model fit, but then here's the problem.
Yeah.
We're only missing one path.
Okay.
So then we don't care about model fit. So then all we care about are the gammas.
Okay.
Right? Because model fit's going to be good anyways.
Right.
Right? We know the path from knowledge to behavior intention is almost zero. So by not including it or including it, we really don't harm ourselves.
Right. Yeah, because it's a nothing.
Yeah. So I mean, like, yes, SEM is about model fit, but it's more than that. So please don't take away that SEM is only about model fit. You would then totally misunderstand SEM.
No, I'm not implying that that's the only thing, but I'm curious just how. No, it wasn't. The question wasn't about SEM. It was more about IRT.
Yeah. So the IRT is just we're just looking at each measure prior to putting it into the path model.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
So we're trying. I mean, I'm just. If we wanted to be really strict, we probably would only use those 3 or 4 knowledge items that we saw as okay.
Okay.
If we really wanted to be really, really, really strict about it.
Okay.
And then, like, for importance, I think maybe 7 or 8 of them were good.
Yeah.
7 of the 8.
Yeah.
For the others, we didn't look at them yet. They'd be very similar. But I mean, like, it's a question of, like, if we drop it, how much content validity are we losing?
Right. And I think that would be the issue is
right.
That we would be.
So, I mean, I think that what we could do is argue that, we retained them, we imposed the constraints, we realized there are some problems, but this is at least a first look at it. And future research will need to continue to improve these measures to get a better idea of this. So this gives us our first initial snapshot.
Yeah, and I think that would be the next thing, sort of at the end of the day we'd want to talk about is what changes. Well, we've already made changes, so based on the year 3 data, we do this, and then what do we need to change or fix?
Right.
So, just lastly, I know you have to run. So, I started creating the tables. I didn't know if you wanted me to further. I didn't want to really do too much with them because I don't want to spend a bunch of time filling in tables and then it.
I'll do it right now. I would hold off on the tables just for until next time.
Okay. Because, yeah, they were, I mean, I wasn't sure too which, yeah. So, anyway, I started creating them and I always leave the grid lines in until I'm all done and I remove them because it's to me I can't work without the grid lines.
I like the grid lines. They're perfect.
Okay, so I understand those will have to come out eventually, but they're in there for now. So we can work on those. Okay, so I'll work on those analyses. I'll work on. You don't need to see this draft again. I asked you that, right? You're good. Yeah, I already asked you that.
Good.
Okay. And then okay. So when do you want to talk next?